With the offseason now in full swing, well, the offseason has been in full swing for a while. We are touching on all of the latest headlines and news going around each NFL team as they get out of minicamp and head towards training camp. Also have some of the, this is the biggest questions facing each team as they head toward what is it? Oh, yeah, training camp. Sorry. Anyway, so, yeah, I'm kind of excited to do this segment because there's a lot of teams that we try to get to, and sometimes we just can't. But I'm really excited to just take a look at each of these NFL teams and just really get down into the nitty-gritty, the dirty. That's where we love it. So now today we're talking about the Atlanta Falcons and everything kind of going on with the Falcons. I think they're going to be a special team that I really don't think a lot of teams are paying attention to, and they should be because, it's only a matter of time. It only takes one. And when I say one, I mean, they got to put some things together. But the Falcons, people forget, they were literally in the Super Bowl as early as a couple of years ago. So I'm excited about it. I think that they got some really good things to look at. And today, to help us kind of tell the full story, we have got an article by Falcons Wire. I know that it's titled "The 9 Questions Facing the Falcons," or 9 Questions the Atlanta Falcons Must Answer During Training Camp, written by Matt Urban. So did a fantastic job on the article. Let's bring you guys right to it. And we're really excited about that because there's going to be a lot of different things to go through in this article that are absolutely fantastic. So yeah, 9 questions the Falcons must answer during training camp. First it starts kind of talking about, the Falcons offense. Really, the team is going to look a lot different. Some of the players they had, guys like Russell Gage, Calvin Ridley, Foy Alakun. All those guys are gone. Even Matt Ryan. Yeah, I know. Experienced veteran, brought him to the Super Bowl, all that. He's gone. But you got Marcus Mariota, Drake London, Rashawn Evans, and now Lorenzo Carter as well. You got a lot of different guys coming in. Going to look a lot different. The first question facing the Atlanta Falcons: Marcus Mariota or Desmond Ridder. Now, the thing with Marcus Mariota for me is, another thing it mentioned is how athletic, these two quarterbacks are, whether it's Mariota or Desmond Ridder. They're way more athletic than Matt Ryan. Well, I hate to break it to you, but duh. Yes, these two guys are going to be fantastic in terms of this offensive line. They're going to be fantastic in terms of creating time and also just turning up yards with their legs, because these are two very mobile quarterbacks that I'm very excited about. So, that's the first question is, you got to decide which one of these quarterbacks you're going to roll with. I'm on the fence because I see both sides. I'm trained to see both sides of everything. I try to see both sides of everything because there's always two sides of a coin or whatever. There's two sides to a story. So you look at Marcus Mariota coming over from the Ravens. Good Lord, the Raiders. He played the Ravens when he was with the Titans quite a bit. But anyway, the point is he's coming over from the Raiders, and I think he's going to be kind of one of those quarterbacks that, honestly, he's not a case of what would have been, but he is, I don't think he quite lived up to that draft status back in the day. But he's still a really good player. People do not give Marcus Mariota the credit that he deserves. It's kind of a travesty in my mind. But then you also got rookie Desmond Ridder coming over. What was it, Cincinnati? He played very well last year. Showed me a lot. And even there's a lot of things kind of going on. I think Arthur Smith, the head coach for the Falcons, kind of talked about it a little bit for the Falcons, saying that he is light years ahead of most young quarterbacks, which is great. You talk about bringing in a young guy, a former third round pick or whatever it is. So I'm excited for Desmond Ridder. He's got a chance to start right away. But my thing is, just don't start him too soon. Confidence is everything, especially in the NFL. So I'm really excited about it. Then you go into the next question here. Avery Williams, can he make the transition to running back? I believe he was a defensive back. Yeah. Kind of come over, return kicks, very explosive player. Really excited to see how he does make the switch to running back. You also got Cordero Patterson, last year, he slipped away from my Vikings and has been dominating for the Falcons ever since. So I'm excited to see what will happen with Williams, getting in the backfield, sharing carries, getting the ball in his hands. You got to get the ball in playmakers' hands. I'm really excited to see it. Then another question: Richie Grant, can Richie Grant win a starting job? We were actually coming out with some of our second year players that we think could shock a lot of teams and have kind of breakout seasons. Richie Grant was our spoiler for the Falcons. I'm really excited because this guy was amazing in college. I was so excited to see which NFL team got him because they were going to get a ball hawk. They were going to get a player that could make plays and do a lot of different things. So I was really excited for a guy like Richie Grant. I thought he was going to be something special. And obviously it was a little slower than you would have liked for a former second round pick. But overall, I'm excited. He has got the ability to be a game-changing safety in the NFL. Then the next question is Drew Dahlman a real threat to Matt Hennessy? Drew Dahlman actually played very well last year. Like I was pleasantly surprised. And it's never a bad thing to have competition along the offensive line, especially when you talk about center, having guys in the middle, guys that can just sit there and be in charge of everything. So, it talked a little bit about how Dahlman was with the first team, I believe at minicamp, mandatory minicamp over Hennessy. But you know what? It's minicamp. Nobody cares right now, unfortunately. But it does probably tell something, though. I mean, it does mean that the team, I believe, has some confidence in Dahlman and Hennessy. So it's going to be interesting to see how that potential position battle does roll out. Another question: can Kenyan Drake have a Kyle Pitts-like impact rookie as Kyle Pitts-like impact as rookie? I think so. We talk about, if you watch any highlights on Drake London, his go up and get it ability, the athletic prowess that he has. I absolutely think he is. I don't want to say a diet version of Julio Jones, because all these players are their own versions of themselves, but he's got just some of the physical traits you want in a number one wide receiver. He's got every single one. I don't think he's the fastest guy, but it doesn't matter. He wins with his jumping ability. He wins with his ability to go up and get the football. I like his route running. I think he's going to have a tremendous rookie season with the Falcons. Yes, I think he could absolutely have a 1,000-yard season coming out of the gate. And man, Kyle Pitts and a guy like Drake London, also Cordero Patterson. This offense could low-key be pretty scary. Absolutely. Next question, who starts at nose tackle? This is going to be a big one. So they talk about how Tyler Davidson was an unexpected cap casualty over the offseason, but his departure does create a lot of opportunity for a lot of other players. You talk about, Vincent Taylor coming over. You also talk about Anthony Rush. There's a lot of players here. For the Falcons, I want them to, really get back to it, in terms of defensively, and that really is more a comment on the edge. On the edge players for the Falcons, which I think we'll get into in a second. This is it. Arnold Epiketti. I watched like 6 highlight videos trying to find a way to pronounce this guy's name. Arnold Epiketti. Epiketti. Every time you watch him on tape, Arnold E. balls out. I love it. This man absolutely, he's got a chop rip, he's got a speed rush, he's got a bull rush, an inside move. I really like how he's going to come along. I really like the player, and I think he's going to come along for the Falcons and be a special player. They also got Lorenzo Carter and D'Angelo Malone. I think, Arnold E. and they also talked about in the article him being one of the more NFL-ready edge players in the class. I'm so excited for Arnold E. I think he's going to be one of those players that is more technically refined than a lot of people give him credit for. I think he's going to be solid in the running game, and I do think he's going to get this Falcons edge rushing and pass rushing team, like that whole aspect of that defense back on track. I couldn't be more excited. Who will emerge as the primary slot receiver for the Falcons? Obviously we mentioned they also traded for Bryan Edwards. What was it, like a 5th or 6th round pick? I can't remember off the top of my head, but traded for Bryan Edwards. You got Drake London and Bryan Edwards on the outsides, and then obviously it's going to come down to who's going to be on the inside. Shifty guy that's going to be able to make plays for your team. It talks about Olamide Zaccheaus. I think that's how you say his name. And the Damari Bird, by the way, does not get near the credit. I think he was just coming over from the Chicago Bears. He also spent some time in New England. I really like his chances. And then Cardero Hodge and Cameron Batson as well. Auden Tate. There's a lot of players that I think could vie for this number 3 spot, that slot receiver spot. That's big time stuff. You're really excited to see how those guys all come together. And then another question here talking about the future of Dion Jones. I love Dion Jones. Just a stud. I know he's the highest paid player on the Falcons right now, but I don't care. I know they brought in guys like Nick Kwiatkowski, and then Rashawn Evans and Troy Anderson they drafted, I believe, in the 2nd round. So Troy Anderson's going to be a stud, 2nd or 3rd round, I can't remember. But overall, I really like Troy Anderson. Will he replace Dion Jones right away? I do not believe so. I think he is going to be a guy that sticks around for a while. Dion Jones does. He's still a playmaker. He's still a really good player for this defense, and I still think he's going to do a lot of great things for the Atlanta Falcons. So that's obviously, yes, you've got some players coming in, but you're going to keep a man that was an absolute legend for so long for you guys. Yes, absolutely. So that's it. That is is our latest Atlanta Falcons camp headlines and some of the questions facing the team. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. Give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else, one more thing before we get into the latest spiel, we'll leave a link for the article, by Falcons Wire. They did a fantastic job. You guys got to take a read for it. Just follow them because they do a lot of great articles and content as well. But let us know what you guys think. And at the end of the day, about the latest Atlanta Falcons camp headlines and questions facing the team.